So this last example, we're given two different functions, f of x and g of x, and want to find the indicated value of the function. So now we're inputting numbers into function compositions. And this just means that you have to start on the inside and work your way to the outside. So we're going to do this two different ways. We're going to do this graphically because we have a graph in front of us, but then I'll show you how to do it algebraically because that's more how your homework is focused. So the first thing we have to do, starting on the inside, is we have to find g of 2. So I need to know g of 2. Well, what does that mean? This means that x equals 2. So if my g function is blue here, I'm using blue, that's good, I want to know what the value is when x equals 2. So when x equals 2, that's right here. What is the value of my g function? Well, what's the y value? Okay, what's the value? What's the point on that blue line? Well, if we count up 1, 2, 3, 4, we can see that g of 2 is going to equal 4. So now, since I know that g of 2 is 4, I know that those are equivalent. Now I can say that I want to find f of 4 because f of g of 2. G of 2 is equal to 4. So what I've done is I've swapped out g of 2 for 4. So now what does that mean? Well, my f function is red, so I want to find f of 4. So that means I want to find my x value being 4, but I want to look on my red line. And I want to find what that point is. What's my y value when my x value is 4 on my red line, because we're talking about my f function now. So I can count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I can see that f of 4 is equal to 6. So that's the composition. That's saying that f of g of 2 is equal to 6. Well, that means that if I were to do this algebraically, we'll come back and do this example later. If I wanted to do this algebraically, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at these two functions. Okay, and I'm going to plug it in just like we've been doing. So the first thing, I'm starting on the inside, working my way outside. That's not changing at all. I want to know what g of 2 is. So now I'm going to take 2 and I'm going to plug it into my g function. So I'm going to take 2 squared, and magically I get 4. Well, g of 2 equals 4 algebraically, g of 2 equals 4 graphically. That should make sense. They're the same thing. We're just approaching the problem two different ways. So now that I have g of 2 equals 4 algebraically, now I'm going to take that 4 and I'm going to plug it into my f function. So f of 4. Well, I'm going to pretend like I don't have this graph here, and I'm going to use my f function. F of x equals x plus 2. So f of 4 would then equal 4 plus 2. And then voila, I'm going to get 6 again. So you can see that we've got those two matching answers, just two different ways to approach the problem. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at example B now. G of f of negative 4. So keeping in mind that we're starting on the inside and working our way out, let's go back to that graph and let's find f of negative 4. So negative 4 is our x value. So I'm going to go to x equals negative 4, so that means left 1, 2, 3, 4. That's right there. And I'm looking at my f function. My f function is the red one, and I'm going to notice that f of negative 4 is negative 2. Okay, that's what the value is, the y value on my red line, my function there. So f of negative 4 is going to equal negative 2. Well, now that I know that f of negative 4 is equal to negative 2, I can take negative 2 and I can swap it out for f of negative 4 because they are equal. They are the same thing. So I'm going to go to my g function now, and I'm going to say g of negative 2. So my g function is my blue function. So negative 2 means to the left 2, and I'm going to go up until I get to my point on my blue function, on the blue one, the g of x. And I'm going to see that when x is negative 2, because that's what this means. Okay, when x is negative 2, what's the value of my g function? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so when x is negative 2, the value of the g function is 4. So the whole composition together, g of f of negative 4, is positive 4. So let me go ahead and show you how to do this one also algebraically, because you'll be doing that on your homework tonight. So we're starting from the inside and working our way out. So f of negative 4, I can color code this for you if you want, just means that we're taking negative 4 and we're plugging that into our f function. So our f function here is x plus 2. So instead of x plus 2, I'm going to have negative 4 plus 2. So f of negative 4 is negative 2. And that's exactly what we got when we were doing this graphically. So since f of negative 4 is equal to negative 2, now I can go ahead and do my g function. G of negative 2. Okay, because remember what we're doing. F of negative 4 is equal to negative 2. They're the same things. They're equivalent. So I'm swapping them out. I'm switching them out. So now I'm going to do g of negative 2, and I'm just going to plug that negative 2 into my g function. G of x equals x squared, which means g of negative 2 would be negative 2 squared. And that will equal 4, just like we got graphically.